Shalom. Giving all the praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rekakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone who rule and teach well. Peace and safety and much blessings to the Akim that's pushing this truth out the four corners of the earth, and all truth and sincerity and diligence. Shalom. All right, and as you can see, I got these clips, queued up about this big bill, big beautiful bill that has passed. All right, which is going to affect a lot of people. Mainly, low income families, or the low income and middle class, because all this is geared to, destroy the middle class, right? And, put the squeeze, on Jake, man, So, like I said, Jake is always the target, man. Okay. So this devil, he's setting these, laying out the tracks, to bring in that MOTB, man. All of this is, you understand, it's part of the agenda, bro. You know, this devil wants you to, go to him for all things. Bring that squeeze on you. You see? All right, this is all part of his agenda, right? And I'm gonna show you, this is that squeeze, is it's basically it's through the Lord, but the Lord gonna use this devil, man. The Lord always use, whomever He will to, to do His bidding. That's in the scriptures. You know. So right now He's using Donald Dump, man. All right, on the left hand side. So I'm gonna play these clips, and you about to see, man. So you people just get ready, man. All right, shit. Because hey, listen, we us believers, we gonna be in the midst of this, right? But the difference between us and them is, watch this. Is this? Let's see. I want to say that's in the book of Isaiah. Right, brothers probably know where I'm going already. The book of Isaiah 60, 65. Isaiah 65 and 13. It says, therefore, thus says Yahweh, right? Thus says Yahweh, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servants shall sing joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. Right? So, in the time of trouble, the servants of the Lord gonna have everything that they need, man. You see, and all these people, shit, they ashamed right now, But it's just, the heaviness of being ashamed, it has not yet come, bro. Right? But you got a lot of people that voted for this guy Donald Trump. You can go look this up. They, you know, regretting their vote, man. You can look this up. They thought Donald Trump was supposed to come in and change a lot of things, but hey, these same people that voted for him, which are, a lot of middle class people, Edomites, they like, man, this is killing us. So they're regretting this thing, you know what I mean? Because this devil, he's not coming in to do anything to help the American people, man. He's coming to further the agenda of, his handlers, the elites, man. Because this is who he reports to. And you in the know, you brothers and sisters in the know, we know what time we in. We know what season we in. We understand what's going on. We're being circumspect through the spirit. Okay? So I'm going to play these clips right here. First.
On this vote, the yeas are 50, the nays are 50. The Senate being evenly divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative. The bill as amended is passed.
See? You see that bill is passed, man. Right? He was he had to make that last vote, 51-50, man. That last vote is the one that count, man. Salaki. Salaki. Okay. So Check this out. I'm gonna play this again.
Well, I got some news for you, America.
Not again, but I'm gonna play this.
News for you, America. That big, beautiful spending bill just so happened to pass right before 4th of July. Can't wait to celebrate our independence. So like I said, the Senate has just passed Donald Trump's tax and spending bill after more than 24 hours of negotiations. The vote was a 50-50. But don't worry, old JD swooped right in and took care of it. Now, obviously, the only Republicans that voted against this bill were Thom Tillis, of course, Rand Paul, and Susan Collins. Here's the kicker. Lisa Murkowski, the senator of Alaska. She thought the bill was going to go back to the House. Lisa, how are you a senator? Anyways, here's what we're looking at. We got a bunch of tax cuts and revenue. The bill extends roughly $3.8 trillion in tax cuts enacted during the Trump administration in 2017. Doesn't matter because our deficit's going to go through the roof. But hey, you won't have to pay tax on your tips if you're a server. Hey, and there's tax breaks for businesses if you still have one. Now here's where it gets dicey. They start messing with your benefits. The bill also includes changes to Medicaid, requiring able-bodied adults under 65 to work 80 hours a month to continue receiving benefits, with exceptions for those with dependent children. And that dependent child's got to be under the age of 6. Now here's some notable provisions. It includes the creation of new tax-preferred saving accounts for children seated with a $1,000 deposit. Trying to buy us out for babies? The bill will hike the federal debt ceiling by $5 trillion. Just keep printing that money. Keep printing it. But people, this is going to affect a lot of things, especially healthcare. I didn't want to bring this up, but a lot of hospitals are closing. Look into that one. But yeah, the big beautiful bill passed. Shit.
Yep. You see, these devils, you know, these devils and pass this bill, man, and these people are gonna be affected by it, man. See, in the year 2026, man, you know, hey, a lot of these things gonna be rolling out. And it's gonna be all of these things that this devil Donald Trump is passing. It's gonna cause an uproar, man. It's gonna cause an uproar, you know. So you see how it's gonna raise the deficit, the debt deficit. I believe that's what he said, by $5 trillion. You gotta keep printing that money, which is gonna, you know, it's gonna make the dollar crash, man. They got this segment on Redacted that I need to go watch, man. I need to go check that out to see what that's about, man. But this dollar is damn near done, man. Like finished, you know. Everything is going digital here, man. Right? It's $9 million, damn near $9 million. Was it $9 million or 9 million people, I believe, being cut? You know, $9 million being cut from Medicaid, man. Okay, 2.9 million people gonna be affected by their food stamps being ended, man. All right, $350 billion out from the educational system being cut. Right? You know why? You know why $350 billion being cut from the educational system? Because AI gonna be your new teachers, man. Okay, AI, bro. All right, and right here in Louisiana, I think I seen this over 200,000 people, right, is gonna be losing their health care, man. You see? But this is who they voted for, man. This is Donald Trump, man. Right? Look at this. This is Revelations 29. Not Revelations 29, boy. What the hell? Revelations 29. This is Proverbs 29 and 2. It says, but in the NLT it says, when the godly are in authority, the people rejoice. And whenever the Yahweh Bashim Yahushai set up his kingdom, everybody's going to rejoice, man. Even the heathens are going to be rejoicing because, you know, they're going to benefit on the fact that righteousness is ruling the planet Earth, man. Right? It says, but when the wicked are in power, they groan. And that's what's happening. People are groaning because of this bill, man. Right? But this is, you know, this is how it must play out. This is what prophecy is about, man. Okay? So a lot of people have been sitting on the high horse and benefiting off of the fact that America's been in, you know, been in the power seat, man. You know, you Edomites. Right? Now we at the end of this. Esau is the end of the world. Okay? This is the decrees that this devil has put out, which is unrighteous. See, Isaiah 10, and see, people think that's just for, you know, for the good, you know, but it's not, man, right? This is going to destroy a lot of people. This is Isaiah 10 and 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, that right grievousness which they have prescribed, man. Okay? To turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. All right, so this is what this devil is doing, man. He's destroying Jake, man, with this, bro. Right? Because I understand. We understand that. Hey, bro, like Jake leaning on this devil. Because once you get like, just say for food stamps, man. Who really depend on food stamps like that? You know, Jake made it to where but you got a lot of Edomites on food stamps too, probably more if you will, But Jake owned them food stamps, and Jake make like they depend on that money, like they depend on that. If you get $500 in food stamps, all right, in their mind they set it up for the rest of my life. This is what I'm going to get. Right now, when that's taken away, man, then you got to make up for that. And when you can't make up for that because you don't make enough money, you don't have a job or the credentials or whatever the case may be, you're going to start to lose it, man. You know, if you're not of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, because you trusted in this devil, right? And then, right, that's in Isaiah 30. This is Isaiah 30 and 30 and let's see. I guess I'll read one. Woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. See, they look to a nation that can't save them, man. Trusting in this devil to always be there. Like this devil owe you something. That walk down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves, right, in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Right now, you got to understand this happened in history. It's talking about a certain time this happened in history, okay? But you can apply this to today. It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame. This is whenever they went to Egypt for help, man. I think coming up against the Babylonians, it says, and trust in the shadow of Egypt, so like in the trust of the shadow of Egypt, your confusion. So yeah, you gonna be real jacked up, man, when this devil takes away, the vintage, especially you women, right? You women that you get this, this sense of security, from this devil because he's taking care of you through via food stamps, man. You can my baby mama would act like that, man. I only get this much. That ain't nothing yet, bro. I don't give a fuck. Is if you only got $300 of worth of food stamps, that's $300 worth of money that you ain't gotta spend. That shit helps, man. But that goes to show you how prideful women are, bro. Okay, now you ain't got it, and then it's gonna be like, okay, so you're gonna be looking to accommodate, that money that you ain't got. You're gonna look for somewhere else, or something to accommodate that, man. You know. But you probably a lot of women shit on their baby daddies, or the man that they was with, or the man that they deal with, because they feel like this sense of security. Now, food stamps ain't everything, but it's something. Okay, it makes life somewhat easy, man, when you have it. Okay, you see. But this devil, you trust in this devil, but this devil what? He spake as a dragon. Revelations the 13th chapter, verse 11, it says, because Donald Trump made it like he was coming in to set the record straight, to make America great again. But nobody understood what that meant, man. The prophets of the Lord knew what that meant. The prophets of the Lord knew what he was coming to do, because we understand prophecy. This is Revelations 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast come up out of earth. See, this when you read up in the chapter, which brothers did various lessons, even I did lessons on Revelation 13 chapter. See, this beast that it's talking about, that another beast, You know, it's talking about America, that same little horn in Daniel the seventh chapter. This is America. Another beast come up out of the earth, which had two horns like a lamb. So you had two horns like a lamb, right? So two horns on the same animal, right? But hey, the two horns represents the Democratical party, the Democratical party and the Republican party, right? But they all got the same agenda. It's on the same two horns on the same animal. So it's like they all got the same agenda, bro. It doesn't matter. They give you an illusion that, hey, we're for you, we're for the Democrats, right? Or we're for the Republicans. You know, we're for what you believe over here, how things should be ran, or your vote counts over here. Your vote counts whether you be a Democrat. But they all got the same agenda, okay? And that's to push forward the agenda of the elites. Everything leading to that MOTB, man. You know, with you niggas being the target, bro. All right. Whether they slaying your ass right in front of your face, or doing it with you, slaying your ass behind your back, man. You know, like you can give like the Democratical Party. You know, you basically, let's say you feed a kid fucking hamburgers all day, McDonald's hamburgers, you killing them. That's because that's what when you killing them, right? You killing them, but you just killing them, softly, if you will, right? The Republican Party, they just all out. Hey, listen, you know, we don't give a damn about you niggas, right? But it's still, same lamb, man. So they come out as if though, they for you with the illusion, right? But he spake as a dragon. And a dragon is a fierce reptile, man, right? Spake as a dragon, meaning, you can go to let me check out this word, dragon. Let's see. Dracon, right? Dracon. See what it says. A dragon, a serpent, a name for Satan, man. Okay? So, with that word, let's see. Etymology online. Let's see. Dragon. Let's just see. I'm just seeing right now. Dragon. It's just a huge serpent. Okay, let's see. Draconian. So you get that word. Draconian. So you get that word draconian from. Dragon is where you get the word draconian from. So let's go look up. Draconian? Draco, ancient, right, to refer to the rigorous, extreme, severe, or harsh. Okay? It says earlier draconic, which it implied for 1640s Draco. This is the Latinized form of Greek dracon. Okay? Who laid down the code of laws for Athens that mandated death as punishment for minor crimes. Right, so he spoke that's where you get the dragon. So you get the word draconian from the word dragon. Like, see, dracon, you see that right there? Dracon, the same word right here. So, you see, extreme, severe, harsh. You see, so with this devil, he's coming with a forked tongue, man. Okay? You see? Because this big beautiful bill, like it says, you $9 million is cut from Medicaid, 2.9 million people, more than that. I'm just giving out the numbers. It's gonna be more than that. People's food stamps gonna be ended, okay? But no tax on your overtime and tips. But what the fuck is that gonna mean when the prices of the costs of living is continue to rise? You see? So yeah, man. And then Medicare, right? It said it's going to affect Medicare. All these rural hospitals are going to be closing, right? These smaller hospitals, these people not going to have Medicaid to cover their procedures, or if you will, or their health care, right? Where are these people going to go, man? Right? I don't give a fuck. It just this is what it is with the wicked and rule, man. Okay? This is what this is. This is what happens when the wicked is in rule. You know, a lot of jobs are gonna look. If you ain't got these hospitals closing, a lot of jobs are gonna get cut. Right? The book of Isaiah, Isaiah the 19th chapter. This is Isaiah 19 and uh, where is that? 15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, right? Which the head or tail, branch or rush may do, man. So a lot of jobs gonna get cut, man. Right? So this big beautiful bill, it ain't to hurt. I mean, it's Salaki, that's slip of the tongue. It ain't to make anything better. It's to hurt you. You see? He's coming in and doing the will of the elites, man, on the left hand side. That's what he's coming to do. Okay, make no doubt about it, huh? Let's see. Let's go back.
America. That big, beautiful spending bill just so happened to pass right before 4th of July. Can't wait to celebrate our independence. So like I said, the Senate has just passed Donald Trump's tax and spending bill after more than 24 hours of negotiations. The vote was a 50-50. But don't worry, old JD swooped right in and took care of it. Now, obviously, the only Republicans that voted against this bill were Tom Tillis, of course, Rand Paul, and Susan Collins. Here's the kicker. Lisa Murkowski, the senator of Alaska. She thought the bill was going to go back to the House. Lisa, how are you a senator? Anyways, here's what we're looking at. We got a bunch of tax cuts and revenue. The bill extends roughly $3.8 trillion in tax cuts enacted during the Trump administration in 2017. Doesn't matter because our deficit's going to go through the roof. But hey, you won't have to pay tax on your tips if you're a server. Hey, and there's tax breaks for businesses if you still have one. Now here's where it gets dicey, and they start messing with your benefits. The bill also includes changes to Medicaid, requiring able-bodied adults under 65 to work 80 hours a month to continue receiving benefits, with exceptions for those with dependent children. And that dependent child's got to be under the age of 6. Now here's
So you look, you gonna be able to receive these benefits if you 65, you able bodied, you know, I think it says 65, you know, but if you got a dependent, if you got a dependent, right? But that dependent has to be under 65 years old. So you had to have this kid at 60 years old. If I'm hearing this right, you would have to have that kid maybe at 59 or 60 years old. This is the rule. This is the wicked in rulership, man.
notable provisions. It includes the creation of
Run that
for
back.
those hours a month to continue receiving your benefits. The bill also includes changes to Medicaid, requiring able-bodied adults under 65 to work 80 hours a month to continue receiving benefits, with exceptions for those with dependent children. And that
All right, so it says under 65. Okay, so that could be, you know.
is for those with dependent children. 80 hours a month to continue receiving benefits, with exceptions for those with dependent children. And that dependent child's got to be under the age of 6. Now, here's some notable provisions. It includes the creation of new tax-preferred saving accounts for children seated with a $1,000 deposit. Trying to buy us out for babies? The bill will hike the federal debt ceiling.
So all this is a squeeze to continue to squeeze the life out of you people, man. Right? You already got women losing it. It's too hard. Nobody wanted all this. I don't need a man, Miss Independent. Yeah, it's getting hard out here, man. Right? And it was a squeeze in the book of Genesis. Right? Just for an example, this is Genesis 70. This is Genesis 47. Salaki. And I'll start at, and I'm gonna read it in the NLT. Right? So let's go. This is Genesis 47. Okay. It says, okay. It says, I'm gonna just start at 40. I'm gonna start at 15. When the people of Egypt and Canaan ran out of money, All the Egyptians came to Joseph. Our money is gone, they cried, but please give us food, or we will die before your eyes. Joseph replied, since your money is gone, bring me your livestock. I will give you food in exchange for your livestock. So they brought their livestock to Joseph in exchange for food, in exchange for their horses, flocks of sheep, goats, herd, cattle, and donkeys. Joseph provided them with food for another year. So you would think, wait, hold up. That's for somebody, they're like, well, that's an intelligent question. Well, hold up. Why would they give him the flocks of sheep and goats and cattle, for food? It's not flocks of sheep and goat food. Like, that's food. Yeah, that's correct. But, in a famine, you gotta understand, in a famine, you know, these animals, they they're more valuable kept alive for the purpose that they were, that they are alive, for milk, and things like that, and transportations, and donkeys using, which donkey is not lawful, but it's just saying, like in a famine, grain and corn is it lasts longer and it feeds more. Like you cut up, you slaughter an animal, right? Like right now, say I get a chicken, cut up this chicken. It's probably gonna be good for about 2.5, 3 days, just out, But grain, it lasts longer. Corn it would last longer. You know, more preservable. That's why. You see, verse 18. But that year ended, and the next year they came again and said, we cannot hide the truth from you, my Lord. Our money is gone, and all our livestock and cattle was yours. We have nothing left to give but our bodies and our land. Why should we die before your very eyes? Buy us and our land in exchange for food. This is a squeeze. This is a squeeze to the point to where people are going to be like, life is going to get so hard. Like, listen, for real. Life is going to get so hard to where, when they come with like a solution, okay, well, listen, take this C hip, just a scenario. Take this C hip, and we'll. Yeah, you probably you lost your SNAP benefits, but we'll you take this C hip. These this is incentives for people, taking getting this, right now. Life gonna be so damn hard. Like, okay, you can get nutrition with the C hip. Uh, 700 CBDCs. When you get the C hip. Because you're already going through this, this squeeze to where you don't have these, certain incentives anymore, right? Or you get, affordable health care, or you get some type of health care with this, with this C hip, man. So a squeeze is gonna make these people, like he says, he says what? The squeeze was so bad, the famine was so bad, it said, buy us and our land. Like, buy us, like, shit, buy us, like, shit, we'll sell you up ourselves, our bodies. We will offer up the land and ourselves as slaves for Pharaoh. Just give us grain so we may live and not die, and so the land does not become empty and desolate. Okay? So, and that was just an example for like like how people would react in a squeeze. In a squeeze where life is fucking hard at, man. People gonna do anything for some type of normalcy or comfortability. Okay? And that's what we're coming into. This is what we're coming into. All these different bills being passed, do these draconian laws and shit. Yeah. This devil, he came as a. Let me go back to that. How it says in Revelations 13th chapter. It says and I beheld, verse 11, 13, verse 11, and beheld another beast came up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and spake as a dragon. So yeah, it looked good. He talked good as a bitch. He said everything right. It sounded good, right? When people was, he was talking about the two genders and getting rid of this and getting rid of that, right? Sound good, right? But now he's speaking as a dragon, man. Okay, and it's only gonna get worse. All right. So that's all I got on that, man. Lord willing, you were edified. Shalom.